You know about the Bloods and Crips, the gangs in America? How this Crip became an NBA star. I don't even know who this guy is. But apparently he's a gang banger. He was all about that life. And now he's an NBA superstar.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Man came out the hood.
And he made it.
And he made it.
Before we get into the video,
make
guys,
sure you smash that subscribe and the follow button.
Alright, let's do it.
This man made it to the NBA, even though he was a Crip. How does someone go from joining one of the deadliest gangs to signing $100 million deals
That's crazy.
and becoming an NBA superstar? Well, this is the story of DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan.
Did people forget DeMar DeRozan gets from LA?
He's thrown up the Crip sign. What does that mean?
Ha! Wait a minute. Was that the commentators? Like, man's in the NBA throwing up Crip gangbanging signs. I don't know what gangbanging signs it is, but that's wild.
DeMar's life was filled with more tragedies than you can imagine. And it all started with the place he grew up in, Compton, California.
Oh, Compton. Straight out of Compton.
We're just walking down the street.
I swear that's from where the game is from.
All I know is straight out of Compton.
He was one of my favourite rappers back in the day.
Sick movie.
Because of a constant war between the area's notorious gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. But no matter how scary Compton was or how relevant the Crips would become to DeMar's life later on, this place helped DeMar fall in love with basketball.
Mad.
All thanks to the most important person in his life.
My dad was always into sports. You know, he had me playing everything. Shit, every weekend he'd take me to the park, do something. I gotta give credit to Pop.
That's a good dad.
But even though DeMar was preparing to become a young star, things turned deadly.
Early on, 5, 6 years old, I lost my uncle. I lost my best friend to murder. I haven't had a developed mental yet, and I'm comprehending the worst thing possible that a kid could go through.
DeMar was constantly showing up to funerals, and it taught him at a young age that any day, even he could be murdered. So he was forced to do whatever it took just to survive.
That's a really sad life for a 5 to 6 year old experiencing funerals at that age. I didn't experience my first funeral till like late early 20s, like mid 20s or something. So like to be kind of in and out of funerals and it's your family and friends, and I think that's kind of crazy at that age, man.
Of course, yeah,
that
definitely.
must really like affect your mental.
You knew what to look out for, you knew what to expect, you knew where to go, where not to go, what this street was, what this street wasn't. So the caution and the survival tactics that you needed to have.
But just learning the streets wasn't enough. DeMar lived in a neighborhood constantly full of gang members, and he felt the only way he'd even stay alive was joining them. So he became affiliated with the Compton Crips.
You know what's crazy? Like, I was straight Crip.
Man said it straight. Straight out of Compton, playing in the ears.
DeMar felt like he finally found his place.
That's mad.
Combining that life with basketball would soon nearly get him killed. It's all because DeMar's high school basketball journey didn't start how anybody predicted. Instead of choosing a school that produced NBA stars in the past, DeMar chose to stay close to home at Compton High, where he thought he'd be protected by the Crips.
Where you coming from right now?
School, fresh out of school, fresh out of
My
college.
God.
Here's where DeMar gained the reputation as a kid who was dunking and bullying people on the court. That's what literally got him nicknamed Debo, after the popular movie character from Friday who bullied people in the streets.
Oh, shit. Here come Debo. Give me your stuff.
But speaking of the streets,
That was a funny film.
DeMar becoming this basketball bully was a blessing, because in his hood, there's actually an unwritten rule called the Hooper's Pass. This was a rule all gangs agreed upon to keep high school basketball players off limits of being targeted by any crimes.
Hey, yo, so these man got like proper rules. They're like, if you're a hooper and you're doing good, we'll let you slide.
Apparently, Russell Westbrook.
I've seen
There's
the
a clip as well.
comments.
That's crazy.
I can't imagine. Like, Russell Westbrook was hot-headed though.
That's where he gets it from. It makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that DeMar got that pass, he was able to play basketball with no fear and instantly became a high school phenomenon. As a freshman, he averaged 26 points and 8 rebounds per game.
That's
better numbers
Good
than
numbers.
what LeBron James did during his freshman year,
Damn.
where he put up just 21 points and 6 rebounds per game. So DeMar's hard work was finally paying off, until one day, DeMar was walking to his favorite spot to practice hooping, And that's when a couple criminals started walking his way and threatened to kill him.
But he's got the pass though.
But then they realized it was Debo, and they knew what would happen if they violated the Hooper's pass.
There we go.
They let him go. His basketball ability had everybody in the city talking about him, and his career was just beginning. So this near-death experience motivated him to take his game to a whole new level.
That must have motivated him to get out the hood. Because he's thinking, if I wasn't in this basketball shit, would I have made it out that night? He may not have. That could have been the death of him.
He began dominating everybody, became one of the best shooters the city had ever seen, and eventually got himself ranked as the 3rd best high school player in the entire country. So once he became this great, he got an exclusive invite to play in some of the biggest high school basketball events in the entire world. DeMar was proving to everybody that he was that guy, while also representing the Crips. DeMar admitted that in school, he wore blue every day, and he'd even throw up Crip signs during his games. So DeMar felt untouchable, but out of nowhere, everything came crashing down. One night, DeMar was rushed to the hospital. It turned out that his dad had a stroke.
Oh, damn.
So doctors ran tests, and everybody was fearing for his life. But all Dad could really say to DeMar was, I can't die. I can't die until I see you make the NBA. So DeMar felt he had no choice but to make his basketball career successful. But with time ticking, he also realized a huge problem. Because of NBA rules, for DeMar to even be allowed to get drafted, he'd have to be at least 19 years old and play 1 year in college. So DeMar wasn't going to be able to jump right into the league like other star players before him. And also moving away from a place that kept him protected was scary. So instead of choosing a university in a safer city that would get him more recognition, he chose to stay as close to home as possible and play for USC.
You could have went anywhere. Why USC?
I was terrified to leave home. And the crazy thing with that, even when I went to USC, I had such a culture shock. My first 3 months in college, I still was living in Compton.
Really? It's fun.
That's the thing. If he moved out, I don't know if is that hoop pass that he has his in just within Compton, or is that like within the whole of the United States? Because at the end of the day, he's advertised himself as a Crip, and he's diehard Crip clearly. So if he goes to another state that's like doesn't respect the hoop pass or don't have something like that, he's pretty much fucked.
I think he wanted to stay close to home because of his dad as well, though.
That and protection.
Yeah.
I think it's a combo.
Could be.
Yeah, because he said he was terrified as well to was it to leave the other to leave the state to because he wanted to be protected by the Crips earlier on. So I'm assuming it'll be a similar reason here as well.
Funny as hell to hear you sit here and say I was terrified to leave Compton. Most people are terrified to go to Compton.
Right, yeah.
DeMar's college experience was all about just doing what was necessary for basketball. And during his 1 year playing for USC, DeMar started putting his name on the map.
Jumper, no good. Tip home by DeRozan. And by Gibson. Left side, DeRozan. Comes in and slam dunk.
He was a special player. And after NBA scouts saw what DeMar was doing during
He's
his
good,
practices.
DeMar DeRozan. Oh, Myers.
Oh my god, the airtime.
Analysts compared his game to NBA legend
Vince
Vince
Carter.
Carter. This was strong praise for a player who hadn't even stepped on an NBA court yet. But nobody could stop DeMar from doing everything he could to go pro for Dad. And before he knew it, his college career was over. So his opportunity to make Dad proud was finally here.
Nervous?
The day has come.
Tonight, 60 young men realize their lifelong ambitions of reaching the NBA.
Oh, Curry.
Getting ready for the draft. Got my boy Steph. They go Blakey Blake.
Oh my god, they're all there. They're babies.
My man. Look at it. Jay, tell her what it is, Jay.
I'm about to get drafted, baby. Turn it up, bro.
Feel like Obama.
It's like on par with like their wedding day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm about to get drafted, baby.
It's so
it's
cute.
here.
DeRozan.
This is it. This is what we waited for.
What a
forever,
moment.
man. And this night is it, man. It's crazy.
The first pick in the 2009 NBA draft, Blake Griffin. With the third pick, James Harden. With the
James Harden was there.
Stephen Curry. With the ninth pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select DeMar DeRozan from.
Bruh, that was a crazy draft. The amount of sick names we just heard, like in one draft.
Harden, Curry, Blake was there. You got DeMar there as well.
Oh my god, like that was like a draft of legends.
Yeah, literally legends.
University of Southern California.
You know, there are people who say he's got as much potential as any player in the draft.
With one of the top picks in the draft, he was now officially in the NBA and a Toronto Raptor.
That's so
but
good.
as happy as DeMar should have been. Once the shock of the moment wore off, his phone rang.
Oh no.
He found out that Dad was sicker than ever. So DeMar rushed to visit him, knowing he didn't have much time left. But when DeMar walked in, Dad didn't even want him to be sad. All he cared about telling DeMar was a goal to accomplish before he passed away. To go win a championship. And DeMar knew, now that he was in the NBA, the only way he could accomplish that was becoming a star. Once DeMar stepped on the court, he developed into one of the league's best scorers. Got invited to the dunk contest.
This DeMar DeRozan hit his first dunk when he was 11 years old in 6th grade.
And eventually stepped himself up to all-star level, where he was voted into the all-star game to compete with the best players in the NBA. But just becoming a star was only step one of Dad's goal. Time was ticking to win a championship in time. And even though DeMar was making plays that had stadiums going crazy, the Raptors randomly just gave up on DeMar and traded him.
No.
DeMar DeRozan, the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs.
Why?
What was
the Spurs?
This trade became one of the biggest headlines in the world. Because after DeMar...
Oh, they swapped him for Kawhi.
Why didn't they just keep both? Can't you keep both?
You can't. Spurs has Kawhi, Raptors has him. How can you keep both? If they want him for Kawhi, you have to trade or nothing happens.
Yeah, but can't they give someone else instead of...
The deal was they chose Rosen, didn't it? They chose, the agreement was Rosen. Maybe Spurs didn't want no one else. They said, we'll only do it if we want Rosen. Then they probably thought it was worth it. I don't know, man. We don't know what's happened behind closed doors.
DeMar gave a city everything he had. He was dealt to the Spurs, whose odds of winning a championship were nearly zero. And while he began playing for this new squad, none of DeMar's teammates knew how sick his dad was getting or what DeMar was secretly dealing with.
My dad got sick. I done flew from Boston to LA, went in the hospital. I flew home, LA to Toronto, by myself, played in the game. Did the same thing in San Antonio, but nobody never knew. It was times I flew in day of the game and played.
So while DeMar was spending all this time with Dad before it was too late, while trying to maintain being a basketball star, DeMar was also forced to watch the player he got traded for, Kawhi Leonard, win the Raptors their first championship ever while playing in his old spot.
As sad as it is, it was a good trade for Raptors then, because he was a big reason that Kawhi was a big reason they won that. But it was sad.
And to make the situation even worse, out of nowhere, DeMar made an emotional Instagram post letting everybody know that his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Words won't serve justice to what you meant to me. Never missed a game, a practice, an opportunity to show me what a great father was. You pushed me my whole life to be able to withstand the roughest of times. All I cared about was making you proud. But DeMar's dad must have been looking down on him, because not long after, DeMar was traded to one of the most famous teams in the NBA for winning championships, the Chicago Bulls. So DeMar...
I just want to say, guys, while we're on that topic about his dad, in my opinion, obviously everyone has their own opinion, I feel like it's very important for a father figure to be in their child's life. Like in this case, if his dad wasn't pushing him to play sports and basketball, he could very easily have sacrificed his whole life to the gang shit and become, you know... He would have. He was a Crip. He was doing both. So what saved him was basketball and his dad, you know, pushing him to better himself and have a better life. So yes, like stay in your kids' lives as much as possible.
And he clearly valued his dad as well. Yeah. He loved his dad.
Yeah. Very sad to see.
I knew that now was his time to finally accomplish Dad's goal. And instantly, he started playing his best basketball ever. Not only did DeMar start reaching milestones that only superstars do.
Nice.
Oh, DeMarvelous DeRozan.
He becomes the 50th player in NBA history to reach 20,000 points.
Oh, wow.
Some of his shots started making NBA history.
A 50-piece to put it away.
50, oh my God.
Finally getting the praise he deserves.
He can ball. He's a rough rider. He's not scared of anything.
DeMar DeRozan is doing this in the house that MJ built.
Name me a guy that got buckets like DeMar DeRozan is doing
what a player.
Since Michael Jordan.
But even with everybody talking about DeMar, all he's determined to do is win a championship for his dad. And no matter what he's been through, or will continue to go through, DeMar's embraced the entire journey, because it's all what made him who he is today.
Wow.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Pops over there. What a video. That is a very
beautiful.
inspiring video.
Yeah.
And I hope that inspired many of you who are watching and who will be watching on YouTube.